Hello everyone and welcome to the Sir Lamb channel. I am Lamb and this is the channel. With Monster Hunter Worlds fast approaching us in a matter of weeks, and after trying the game for the first time ever in the second beta test preceding launch, I'd like to pay homage to the 5th generation games by bringing you some outdated videos by the time you watch them. With the 6th generation coming so soon, with Worlds approaching so rapidly, you may be thinking it's a little late to start a new YouTube channel and release so many videos about World Iceborne, and you'd be right. I'm sorry, there won't be much Rise shown over the next few weeks. I wish I had more time in my schedule for that. I've left it way too late, and by the time I'm done releasing the final videos of these series I have for you, I'll be knee-deep in Wilds, and most likely done with the entire story of the base game by then. But I did want to bring you my own story. A story I've shared with the viewers and players in my stream on Twitch. A story of how I said a fond farewell to World Iceborne. A game that's been in our hearts for many years and brought all of us so many wonderful memories and moments. The base game of Monster Hunter World was released all the way back in January of 2018, and the days following its release on PC, later than consoles at the time, are so nostalgic in my memory, and a wonderful time to play the game. Long before I became a streamer, before the world was devastated by COVID, and before Iceborne was even released, we had turf wars, monster mounting, which was new for me since I missed out on playing the 4th gen games, campsites to replenish your items, controversial, footprints that researched monsters and led you to them with the addition of scout flies, slinger ammo, mantles, boosters, wedge beetles, palicos, guild cards, capturing rare and weird and wonderful endemic life, the fantastically friendly to navigate for beginners ancient forest area, which I'm still figuring out after 3,000 bloody hours in this game, and of course, my beloved ZSD. The base game was such a fantastic time and really brought in such a wide audience, particularly in the West, where the series was much more niche beforehand. Millions of people became drawn to this new title over the years, and as a fan, it made me so proud that more people had come to discover this absolute gem of a series. I'd personally started the series when my housemate said, "Hey, let's check out this random game," and how little did I know that picking up the Wiimote and nunchuck and blasting my way through Monster Hunter Tri with a light bowgun would change my gaming life forever. 2012 feels like yesterday to me, and somehow we're already expecting the 6th generation main title game to be released in 2 weeks. I'm beyond excited, and I cannot wait to share that journey and that experience with all of you here. But this video and these upcoming series are about saying farewell. I'm experiencing a weird state of joy and sadness with a smile as I record various cutscenes from the story to use in upcoming videos, seeing all the amazing details the dev team put into their cinematics and the world and the biology of the monsters. It feels quite strange that this chapter is closing, and we're all embarking on a fantastic new journey. And I honestly feel like we are collectively simply not ready for what this new game is actually going to bring us. And that's before we even talk about, sieges, title update monsters, the DLC being released further down the line. Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. And this time, we'll be taking the journey together. And I'll be sharing that here on YouTube and as I stream on Twitch live and sharing my time and my first time reactions with you guys. So, what can we expect before I start to tell my wild story? Well, I wanted to finish Iceborne off with a bang. Back when I reinstalled the game last summer, I decided with some friends and viewers in the community that we'd take on the story with limited gear, weapons and armor, and the only HUD setting visible would be the scout flight notifications for the challenge and immersion, as I replayed through the story with my good friends, Valk, and for Pixie, who had never played World or Iceborne before, she'd be experiencing the game in challenge mode and not be bogged down by any of that nonsense like an HP bar or a stamina bar. Who needs to know their sharpness anyway, am I right?
Oh, I bounced off the wing! How can you bounce off a wing?
And so I started a new character called Jade, who is now my most played character with over 1,500 hours to her name and every in-game achievement. She's collected a substantial amount of every weapon, but we started by doing the Undergeared challenge with the Sword and Shield. a new weapon for me. Being a Switch Axe main for over 10 years since Tri-Ultimate, I'll not be able to bring the story of the SNS challenge to you, as I've lost the footage to time, unfortunately. I decided to run Sword and Shield after watching Uno Hunter take on Elatron with said weapon, and I thought that it looked strong and fun, and having very little understanding of the weapon, I thought I'd give it a go. Years ago when I last played, I'd put a decent amount of hunts into all 14 of the weapon types on my first character, but I wanted to develop my understanding of a weapon with the challenge conditions that I'd not really previously overplayed, like the swags, so I went with SNS. Little did I know just how much of an impact that this weapon would have on me and my understanding of the game overall, and I am now firmly in love. I would describe Switch Axe as hot and fiery, a spicy woman you spend a hot, debaucherous summer night with for a one-night stand. Swax is lustful. Swax is just sex. But Sword and Shield is love. It's the loving wife you return home to who is always there. The type of lover who bakes bread, makes homemade jam, and plays acoustic guitar. She always has your back. Understated, but a rock you can cling to. You can always rely on Sword and Shield. I'm sad I won't be able to bring you the Undergear challenge and the culmination of beating every monster in the game with the Sword and Shield, but I have gone out of my way to beat 2 specific monsters with every single weapon completely solo as part of my send-off to this wonderful game with Wilds coming up. My personal favourite monster, the gigantic, majestic, fiery and furious Culved Wrath, with her gleaming coat made of precious metals and weapons melted into her reinforced golden shell, and her prized curled horns, which hunters covered the new world over. I would have to mollify her tough protective lair, break off her shell in parts, and finally break her horns as she descends deeper into the caverns of El Dorado to make her final stand. And of course, the awesome and apocalyptic force of pure black dragon, the destroyer of kingdoms, the dreaded Fatalis. Bringing down this beast, breaking his horns, weakening his terrifying flaming breath, and finally making my final stand as a hunter of the new world, and slaying the Black Dragon himself would not be easy. Some people describe this quest as the toughest hunt in the game series so far. I personally found my first slay of Elatron to be tougher than Fatalis, but the experience of slaying Fatalis for the first time.
Please! Yes! Oh!
Wow. When that music kicks in after you use the Dragonator for the first time, and your pride as a hunter swells in your chest. This game series hits you in a way that you just don't feel in other games, and sometimes surmounting those walls, those monsters that stick out in your memory that pose a problem for you to overcome, really gives you that satisfying gaming catharsis that I personally truly value. This is part of the reason why Monster Hunter is one of the few series that I can rant and rave about, and why I have sunk thousands of hours into several of these games. I love Monster Hunter, and my work would be absolutely cut out for me during these challenges. And despite having experience with every weapon, I would have to work at some of these clears. And before anyone starts rubbing their hands, ready to comment on how terrible I am with each weapon that they main and I do not, I'm not a perfect player, and I do not play perfectly. I do hope you enjoy my suffering. I will also be bringing you the Undergear challenge on Lance, and hopefully, if I have the time, on my main weapon, the Switch Axe as well, if possible. I chose Lance because I wanted to go through a challenge with a real 1v1 style weapon, and wanted to improve my Lance gameplay and my understanding of blocking, monster moves, etc. Switch Axe I just wanted to do to say that I've done it, but we'll see if we have time before Wilds. Perhaps one day, when I come back to World Iceborne, I can challenge myself once more with other weapons I'm interested in improving with, and developing my understanding of, such as the bow, gun lance, longsword and greatsword, amongst others. But soon, we will be into Monster Hunter Wilds. And I'll be sharing my journey with you guys here as well, once that I've finished telling my 5th gen stories, and if you'd like to share the experience with me live, come find me at twitch.tv/sir_lamb, and I hope you have an amazing experience with this new game, whether you're an old hand or a new player finding their way. It will be something that will stick with you for a very long time, regardless. Enjoy yourselves out there, and much love. And thank you, 5th Generation Games, for all the memories. The honour is all mine.